It's time to play Survivor once again, and I could not be more excited. Season 42 kicked off on CBS Wednesday with not one but two people going home, and I gotta say, I was a little heartbroken at the one already. And plus, we've got some twists. And the return of a shot in the dark. Yeehaw. Let's get into the season premiere. I'm Anna Rumer, and this is Pop Culture Social Call. It's a new season, and once again, we have 18 strangers split into 3 tribes. Despite them being all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to be on the show, I could see their hearts sink when Jeff told them they're getting no flint, no rice, no nothing if they're not winning challenges. The first test for the new 𝐒𝐒𝐿, 𝐷𝐻𝐿, and 𝐷𝐷𝐻 tribes goes like this. One person from each tribe runs into the jungle to untie and return with 2 paddles. Then another runs down the beach to get 2 more paddles. Now, using those paddles, the tribe races out to sea to collect some sticks, which they'll use to collect their flint, winning them also the vital machete and pot. Now, the first twist of the season comes when those 3 players run down the beach. Lindsay, Drea, and Hai are faced with a decision. They can grab their paddles and go, stay loyal to their team, or they can work together to receive an advantage. They agree to work together, and to help with their lie, the 3 smear themselves with mud to make it look like they just worked their butts off. Hai also smeared himself with fake blood, and he is lucky no one clocked that. I mean, his chest was covered with blood and he had no wounds. That could have been an easy tell right off the bat. Anyways, it's a tight run to the end, but 𝐸𝐿 pulls out a win for 𝐒𝐒𝐿 early on. Now, also early on in the challenge, Daniel took a tumble on the sand and he ended up popping his shoulder out of its socket. But he's a badass. He let Medical pop it right back in there on the beach, and he's gonna keep playing, even if he has to be super careful with that later on. Back at camp, Vati and Taku are given the chance to earn their camp equipment another way by choosing between Sweat and Savvy. They both pick Savvy, and that's fine. That's the triangle puzzle again. Come on, we couldn't get another puzzle? Whatever, they both get it. We're all on an even playing field at camp. Now that we're back at camp, we get to meet some of our 𝐒𝐒𝐿 tribe members. Zach is a super fan, Swati's an Army National Guard studying at Harvard, Tori's a therapist who's lying about being a caregiver for some reason, I don't really know. 𝐸𝐿 is a stay-at-home dad, and he might want to remember that his fellow players are not his kids, because that ordering around, oof, that would not work for me. Back at Taku, Jackson tells his tribe mates he's transgender and opened up about how, while his parents didn't accept him at first, years later he returned home to care for his sick mom, and they ended up establishing this beautiful relationship as a family before she passed. Meanwhile, Daniel over on Vati recalls watching Survivor while being treated for leukemia as a kid. Oh my gosh, all these stories, now I'm rooting for everyone. This is gonna be hard. Okay, let me get my emotions under check though, because what was that advantage that Drea, Hai, and Lindsay got? Now, each have 1/3 of an amulet, but all 3 parts must be played together. Now, the fewer amulets left in the game, the more powers they have. 3 together is an extra vote, 2 is a steal vote, and 1 alone is a full idol. Ooh, does our first alliance turn on each other to amp up their own power, or do they stick together to guarantee they get something? I love it. Now, the twists keep coming as the boat arrives at camps to take one of the members of each tribe on that hike bonding sesh we had last season too. Alright. Marianne, Jenny, and Drea get chosen, and when it comes down to the same prisoner's dilemma sitch we had last season, Marianne and Drea risk their votes, but Jenny protects hers, which means the other 2 get an extra vote. Back at Taku, Jeff is here and he wants a one-on-one with Jackson. This can't be good. Jeff reveals that just the day before filming, Jackson revealed new medical info, and while they decided to let him keep filming, he had a 10-hour headache the day before. Things are starting to change. So it started off kind of vague, and Jackson was like, you know what, listen, I've got nothing to hide. I was on lithium, I was getting no sleep when I was taking care of my mom, and so this is what I needed to do. I really appreciate him talking about the stigma of that. That being said though, he was trying to wean himself off lithium before he was playing the game, and it's still in his system, which means that the dehydration, the starvation, the stress of the game, that's gonna be dangerous for him. He's gotta go home. I love Jackson. I mean, it's clear his tribe did too. I hope he's allowed to come back down the line. I don't know how any of that works though. All right, it's time for the immunity challenge, and this one looked brutal both physically and mentally. And despite losing Jackson, Taku comes back with the win, and Jenny's puzzle skills once again save Vati. That means 𝐒𝐒𝐿 is the first to head to the tribal council. Now, Zach knows he's on the chopping block after absolutely flopping at that puzzle, and Tori tells everyone that while she was in the woods looking for food, looking for an idol, she doesn't have one, so they shouldn't vote her out. Drea tells Tori that, yeah, you broke like one of the #1 rules of Survivor, but Rock's totally gassed out in that challenge. We should get him out first. Meanwhile, Swati tells Rock that Zach totally sucked at that puzzle challenge, and he's supposed to be the puzzle guy, so let's get him out. Also, regarding Zach, he told Tori what everyone was saying about her having an idol, so a snake? It's time for tribal council, and I wasn't quite sure what they were gonna do. I mean, personally, I would have voted out Zach, because Tori's at least honest about her weird game moves. During the vote, Zach decides to use his shot in the dark, which is bold for a first vote, and Drea finds out she gets that extra vote from earlier. Before Jeff reads the vote, Zach learns his shot in the dark didn't work, but he was right on with being the target. He's the first person unanimously voted out of Survivor 42. Ugh, the superfans curse, it always happens. This season's shaping up to be a good one though, so like and subscribe for more of my recaps heading throughout the season, and head over to popculture.com for more of the latest entertainment news. Until next time, I'm Anna Rumer, and this is Pop Culture Social Call.